I joined the military simply, I mean, nothing honestly heroic, because I wanted a 4-year scholarship, and I felt like I could be successful because my dad was, so I wasn't nervous about that at all. But I just assumed that I would stay 4 years. I immediately started working on my MBA, but I just kept getting these opportunities in the Air Force that they kept saying, hey, do you want to go do this? I'm like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Yeah, let me go do that. And so somehow for me, that ended up, 32 years later. It was never my desire to become a general. So I just wanted to do well at the job they asked me to do, because that's really was important to me. So I think you just never know till you experience something, whether it's going to work for you or not. There's really so many women that inspire me, but I'm really, it really starts with my mom and my mom's family. So my great-grandmother actually had her own business, and she was a gardener. And so she would, no kidding, stand on the corner selling her vegetables so she could buy this house and take care of the family. And so my grandmother, my mother's mother, she also had a business in her home, which she was a hairdresser in her home. And I used to go spend summers up with her and literally like go help out in the beauty salon with her friends. And it just was amazing. And so my mother, she was an amazing mom, but she was also really bright and wanted to be interacting in the world. And so when I was in the 5th grade, she went back to school to get her undergraduate degree, and then she got her master's degree. And then when I was in college, we would take her to college to get her PhD. I just grew up with these amazing group of women that made me believe there's just nothing I couldn't do. And this is not just a woman's story, it's a woman's and a men's story. But I had the great privilege of leading the DoD's Warrior Games. And so these are both men and women that have been injured in combat, and pretty significantly. And when I watched this happened to me, a young man, but it's a story, I've never left my mind. So picture a person swimming 50 meters 4 times with one arm. I mean, no legs, no arm, one arm. It is the most inspiring thing I have ever seen. And whenever I think I'm having a bad day, I think about him and I think, wow, suck it up. My gender has never been the way I personally define myself. I mean, I'm a woman, of course, but it's never been part of my personal definition. But I will say that the personnel career field is one of the career fields that has the most women. It's at least 50% women. And I was very cognizant that I was an important role model for them. And so it was really important to me that I live up to that role model. That's a lot that's been given, a lot is expected. It's never about you, it's about the team. And so there's just I can't think of any role in any organization where one person makes or breaks it. And it's about your ability to have every member in your team thrive. And frankly, most teams will be just fine without you. And that's okay. That's something to realize. And I think the final lesson I learned is that it's really nice to wear a uniform, because now that I'm in the private sector, having to get dressed every day is quite stressful.